Hello everyone, I want to talk to you today a little bit about investments. Now I'm not talking about the typical investments we may think of where we dump some money into the stock market and see what kind of return we can get. As jumpy as the market is right now, none of us are going to succeed very well at that. Perhaps the kind of investment I want to talk to you about today briefly would be best framed in the context of what happens around our country, around our nation this time of year, when our nation's farmers begin to put seed in the ground. I'd say they put crops in the ground, but that's truly not the case. They're not crops until the seeds germinate into a harvest. It takes a time of waiting and patience to experience the harvest. There's a passage in James that talks about the patient waiting for this action to take place. It's found in verse 7 of chapter 5. James writes, "Be patient, therefore, brothers, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it receives the early and the late rains." Now, most of us are not in a position of dirt farmers where we're actually putting seed in the ground. But I'm going to suggest to you today that during this drought of activity, there are other seeds that can be sown. And they, like those of the normal harvest, are a long-term proposition. And those seeds that we can plant even now are in those around us, the people that we love. As with farming, it's an investment up front where the return is not necessarily guaranteed. If you're going to invest yourself in the lives of others, it will certainly take reminding. You'll get busy, you'll forge ahead, forgetting. It's always a process. Nothing but gambling gives an immediate payback, and relationships are really nothing to gamble with. So we need to be patient as we invest, as we plant, as we wait for a harvest of return with those that we invest in. When you do invest in the lives of others, though no return is guaranteed, sometimes, as the Bible would suggest, we may even gain a 30, 60, or 100 times our investment. Sometimes the return is far beyond what we can even reason, and we don't understand it all. Folks have come up to me recently and said, "Hey, thanks for what you did in my life," or "Thanks for doing that." And I look at it and I don't understand it because I don't see it, especially for someone kind of introverted as I. But it sure is a beautiful return to experience. Let me put it in this context, a math problem, if you will, that's really kind of neat. My old math teacher in high school would use this illustration. Suppose you were going to work for someone for 30 days straight, and they offered you 2 pay options for 30 days of work. $1 million right up front, pay option 1, or 1 penny a day doubled for those 30 days. So for instance, the first day, 1 penny. The second day, 2 pennies. The third day, 4 pennies. The fourth day, 8 pennies. Well, by the end of the 2 weeks, you'd have just about $82 for 2 weeks of work if you choose the penny option. The million up front seems a little better, doesn't it? However, if you kept the same pattern, by the end of the 30 days, you'd be making over $5 million on that last day alone in pennies. The power of the humble penny. The power of the humble act of investing slowly, steadily in the small acts of kindness and care in the lives of others. So, invest in the lives of others a little each day And over the long haul, it's certain to boast a great return.